Hey, Carlster fans. Long time no see. Um, I wanted to give everybody a chance to be able to view that video that I posted about my disability. So I hope all of you enjoyed that. Um, my thoughts and prayers go out to the all of the vets for today because today is Veterans Day, and my hearts and thoughts also go out to the people who have lost family members in active duty. So, now, I had a little problem today, and I was trying to do my Coaster Carl video, and I kept having difficulties, and it's all because our lights out here, not all of them, but the ones in the area I'm sitting in is fine. But the ones that are over by the kitchen table are on a sensor. And those keep going on and off, on and off. Now, I know I should be doing those videos during the day, and it's kind of difficult for me to do a filming schedule per se because some of the people that I live with are very loud. And when it comes to that point, and then we have people out here that are watching television, which I'm not trying to get copyrighted material in these videos. It's really difficult. So, I make my videos when I can. It's really hard to do a schedule. Eventually, when I am able to move into a different apartment, I will be able to hopefully, you know, get a better schedule going. Now I know I said this is No Shave November, but this has got to go. It's driving me nuts. So this is probably coming off tomorrow. So you guys will be able to see what I look like freshly shaved. Um, so um, Uncle Steve is in bed. Uncle Steve went has to go to sleep because Uncle Steve has church tomorrow. So there you go. So there's no Uncle Steve in this video. Um, and then, well, one thing I wanted to tell you is since this is Veterans Day, and well, it's Veterans Day when I'm making this, and it's not going to be Veterans Day tomorrow, but you know, I wanted to talk a little bit about my dad was in the Navy. He from what I was told, they put on his paperwork that he was a cook, but um, I think that they did that just to um, confident for confidential reasons for what he did in the Navy. My dad told me that he flew around in an airplane called the P-2V Neptune. Now, he never made it into a war, as far as I know. He um, would fly around in the glass nose of the airplane, and he would look for enemy submarines that were not supposed to be in U.S. waters. So, yeah. Uh, so you know, I think that was really cool that my dad was able to serve in the Navy. If I was not disabled, I probably would have wanted to go into the Navy. Um, because I think it's cool to be on ships and be on airplanes and all that sorts of stuff. I probably would have either ended up in the Navy or the Coast Guard, one of the two. But because I think that was, I think those two branches of the military are kind of what calls my name, so to speak. Um, but I'm too old to get into the military now. I'm 33 years old, and I'm not old. I'm too old to go in the military now. So, hmm, you know, coulda, shoulda, woulda. Um, now I don't know too many other people in my family that were in the military. I can't really. The people that I do know, basically the people that I do know, my father is basically the only one that I can talk about um, being in the armed services, because the other people that I know, I'm not allowed to talk about because of the fact that I like to, due to privacy reasons. That's part of the reason why I don't talk about those people. Um, now, um, when it comes to people that are that I know that have been in the military that are deceased, I still don't like to mention their names for privacy reasons um, um, because I like to ask their family first before which I did not do, which I should have done. Um, I know for a fact that my grandfather on my mom's side of the family, I know he was never in the military. Uh, Other than that, the only other person I know of that I can talk about, because I don't care about this person, uh, is one of my sister's ex-husbands. Um, I guess he was in the military for a while, and yeah, so that's a different story. Um, then I've always been a big buff into military aircraft. I really enjoy looking at all of the old aircraft that all of the branches of the military have had. It's really neat. Um, Probably my favorite is probably, and I can't think of the name of it right now. The SR-71, that's it. The SR-71. That is an awesome plane. If you guys don't know what that is, you guys need to go look up the SR-71, and that is an awesome plane. It's massive too. I've gotten to see replicas of it. I've gotten to see a real one that has been decommissioned because they no longer use them anymore. And that's one of my favorites. Now, one of my current favorite aircraft that the military has is well, it's not that current, but is the stealth bomber. That thing is awesome. Um, I would kill to either go up in a stealth bomber or be able to go into a fighter jet like a F8 or F-18. I would love to go in an F-18. That would be sweet. Um, my favorite rockets were the Apollo rockets. I liked um, uh, I've been a big NASA buff too. One of these days, I'm going to get on here and tell you my views and opinions of NASA. Uh, so, um, the Apollo rockets I liked. I liked the shuttles. Those were okay. Um, and those kind of outlived their life expectancy, so to say. That those actually lasted quite a bit. Um, I also like the 747 that they used to transport the um, the space shuttle, which is pretty cool. It the way it would work is they would put it on the is it would fly and it would land on this airplane. So that was pretty neat. Um, I really like the Apache helicopter. That's pretty sweet looking. I also think that the helicopter that the president uses is pretty neat. Um, which there would be something I would say about that, but I'd be afraid I would get in trouble for that. So we are not going to mention that. No. um. So I don't. Um. And a lot of people don't know that NASA is actually a part of the Air Force. Um. It always has been, and they've done some pretty cool things. And I will admit that. Um, but the new rockets that they've come out with, one of them looks like a hypodermic needle. I mean, come on now. And then another one looks like a giant pen, and one of them looks like a giant marker. You know those skinny markers. I'm like, what are you guys thinking? I don't know. And then the whole thing of civilians in space, yeah, leave it to the trained professionals. I don't think we're ever going to make it into space. Um, us people in the public, I wish. But and then when it comes to ground vehicles, I'm not so familiar with a lot of those. But I can tell you, I do like the Abrams tank, and the Abrams tank is pretty neat. So, um, but like I said, my heart goes out to all of the troops out in all over the world that are fighting battles, and that is a really tough job, and my heart goes out to their families as well because I know from experience with other people that I know of what it's like to have to go, serve your country. And, I know what it's like. I mean, I've never personally been in that situation, but I know what it's like. So it's not easy. And one of the things that I can um, really put out there to everybody is that um, it's a um, it's a job that is very complex, and sometimes it's hard for everybody to understand that your loved ones won't be home all the time for all the holidays, and it stinks. So my heart goes out to everybody who's been in the service, who's in the service, and to the families, and also to the families that have lost loved ones, in the armed forces. So this is the Carlster signing off, and make sure you keep it cool. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Good night, guys. Bye bye.